Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 326, Wednesday. I had to look at my phone to see what day it was. It's trash day, so I have to trash out this morning. Wednesday. Today, we're going to talk about the National. It's coming up in a couple weeks. Yesterday, I kind of rambled on about the National. So I decided Tom and Peoria had asked me to talk about the National a couple weeks ago, and I said, yeah, as it gets closer, I'll dive in. And I figured I'd tailor it to what you would expect as a first timer, because there's going to be a lot of first timers at the National this year. And I was a first timer myself just 2 years ago. The last National that was held was my very first National in 2019. So I'll share what I had discovered as a first-time National walking through the show. What's up, Brad? Good morning, Dan. Dan's scanning and sorting some Menkos. So we'll talk a little bit about the National. Last night did some more shipping. I listed a bunch of stuff, so I got somewhat caught up on shipping. Actually, I did get caught up on shipping. So then I started listing I finished listing my Bowman Chrome Sapphire singles. And then I had some like random, I had a couple Barry Bonds rookies. I had a Will Clark rookie. I've got the stack right here. So I just listed some random stuff on eBay last night. I found some Heritage High Number Chrome, couple of Griffies, just some random stuff, and a bunch of it sold right away. In fact, like the two Bonds rookies, the Canseco and Will Clark rookies, sold within like 2 hours last night. I think one or two of the Sapphires sold. So it was a real lull in sales Sunday, Monday, and most of Tuesday. Then all of a sudden last night, I get a little spike. So I'm trying to pump it. What's Brad say? Feed the beast. I'm trying to feed the beast for the next couple of weeks just to build up that bank account for the National coming up in just a few weeks. So that was fun. It's always fun when you list some cards and then they sell right away. I always like that. Oh, by the way, my live chat is working this morning. So Brad, I watched your show last night and I saw that you had an issue with live chat. And then I went back, I wonder if I can do it. Okay, I've got live chat replay. And even though the live chat replay did not show up on my video, and Brad, it didn't show up on yours, unless I just didn't look in the right spot. So what's up, David? Good morning, Zach. So that's what was going on yesterday. Target had a bunch of cards released yesterday. I did not partake. I am on a month-long buying hiatus because I want to spend all my money at the National. So and really I wasn't interested what was posted on Target.com yesterday. I wasn't really interested. Stadium Club and Panini Select. What's up, Bob? Good morning. Stadium Club and Panini Select are blasters that if I'm at the store, I would pick up a couple blasters because I do like the products. But it's like, I don't want to buy it online. And right now, no spending until the National. So if I keep repeating that, because I've got a couple card shows coming up, Schaumburg this Sunday, the Madison card show on July 24th. So I got to keep reminding, we're selling. We can resume buying at the National moving forward. So that's what I keep repeating to myself. Don't you mean the Nationals? Then yeah, the Nationals. It's National singular. It's not plural. The Nationals. When I hear Nationals or read it, I think of like. So when I grew up in the Quad Cities area, Illinois, Iowa, right there close to the border. And there was a speedway. And I think well, there was a speedway, and then there was also a drag strip in a little town called Cordova. And yeah, Dan, I think of car races. So in the summer, there was always commercials on TV growing up about the races in the Quad Cities, like the Summer Nationals. So every time I hear nationals, I think like and they're like the loud, like Sunday, 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 the Summer Nationals. So that's what I think of when I hear people say, when they call the Nationals. I think of the Summer National car races when I was a kid growing up, the TV commercials. So yeah, national, singular. So let's talk about the National. It's coming up. What is it? July 28th. It begins on Wednesday. So if you're a first timer, it is overwhelming. And you say that. People told me that. And my buddy Dave, who we go to the Cubs convention, we go to the National and other card shows. He told me, he's like, dude, you're going to want to take like a couple days off work. You're going to want to spend a few days here. And initially I'm like, no, I don't want to take time off, because back in 2019, took like a 2-week European vacation. I was broadcasting softball. I didn't have that much time. Now I've got like time coming out my rear end from not taking any time off over, a 16-month period. So it's like, so he was right. Doing a day is not enough. I walked the floor. I ended up taking, what did I take? I think I just took one day off. I think I took a half day off Thursday, and got there like Thursday evening, and then had Friday off, and then walked the floor. Basically, Thursday was just kind of like I met up with some Twitter people, just kind of did a little walk around, get the lay of the land basically, and that was it. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was on the floor the whole time. There were some booths. Now I was there Thursday for a few hours. I was there from open to close on Friday. I was there from open to close on Saturday. About mid-morning Sunday, I found quarter box, bargain box booths that I didn't even know existed. And I had spent all that time, days. And on Sunday, and that's where I spent like all of my Sunday was in these dime boxes, because they had current product, rookie cards. So that's another thing. Like there's this stigma that the National is expensive. So the National is expensive from like, okay, if you've got to fly in, obviously you've got plane tickets, you've got hotel, you've got to Uber or rent a car. So yes, it can get expensive from that point alone. Even if you're just driving in, say you have a general admission ticket, it's $20 just to get in the door. It's $15 to park. So there's $35 plus whatever transportation costs, gas money. It's expensive. By the way, bring like a snack in your own water, because the concession stands, they do have food, but the lines can be really long, and obviously the prices are really expensive. So bring your own water, bring some snacks. So that's a tip. Now I'm trying to, I should have wrote this down in outline form. I apologize. So if you can, I'll go back to the original thought. If you can do more than one day, if you can swing 2 days, and I know there are family obligations and all that, but if you have the ability and you have the time to spend multiple days, plan as many days as possible. Plan as many days as possible, because it is, like I said, I was there most of the time, and by Sunday, I'm finding a couple booths that I didn't even know existed. You're going to spend a lot of time on your feet, get super comfortable shoes. In fact, I Google most comfortable shoes, and I do for standing, because I don't do everybody's different. For me, I do a lot of standing at quarter boxes. Some do have chairs, so you can sit and sift through the dime and dollar boxes. But there's going to be a lot of standing around. And I think this year the lines are going to be super, super long. So you're going to do a lot of standing just to get in the door, most likely. So Google best shoes for standing all day. I bought a pair of Asics that I need to break in. I haven't even tried. I tried them on. I haven't wore them yet, but I need to break those in. So that the 1 year I bought a pair of like Skechers, and then I put like a gel insert in. Even socks, I'll get like comfortable socks. So you're going to be on your feet for a long time. Comfortable shoes. If not, your feet are gonna kill you. It's gonna go up into your back. Your back's gonna hurt. You're gonna be miserable. So wear comfortable shoes. I do bring, so I bring a backpack. I actually got a huge back. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and got like a camping backpack that I took out to spring training last year. Get a backpack because you can put your boxes of cards in there. You can put your snacks. You can put whatever. I put a small little stool chair. And so because not every table has chairs. And if you just want to get off your feet, there is a section like near the concessions with tables and chairs, but everybody's sitting down. And there's usually you'll see people sitting up against the wall on the floor because there's just limited chairs available for the crowd. And it's going to be even worse this year because there's going to be a lot more people than there was in 2019 when I was there for the first time. So I bring like a little small chair, and it's small enough it can fit in my backpack. What's up, Herman? And I used it just to get off my feet. I used it at sitting at a booth. So get one of those if you can. What else? Parking. My buddy Nick asked me yesterday about parking, the parking situation. So if you are driving in, there's a huge parking garage right across the street from the convention center. It is like $15 a day for parking. I don't know if other people maybe in the chat know of other parking spots, and I know that's kind of like they don't want to give up their little tips. I know there are little honey holes of like free parking within walking distance. I'm not aware of those. I get the super VIP pass that has the free parking pass, and I drive in. So that's not something that I've ever looked for. But I do know there are areas to park. Don't forget to mention CTA parking lot. Okay, I'm not aware, Dan, of the CTA parking lot, but so yeah, I guess there's a CTA parking lot. So that's that. As far as it's like $5 for the day. Oh, that's a good deal. As far as like hotel stays, if you're still looking to book a hotel, now here's my plan. So if you're flying in, it's a little different because you likely don't want to rent a car and you don't want to spend on Uber. So you're going to want to stay next to the convention center. So I get that. But if you're commuting in by car, if you're driving in, from the Midwest and you're staying in a hotel, I recommend looking outside like the 10-mile perimeter. So my buddy and I, we stay in Wheeling, and I don't know what it is, but there's a restaurant bar attached to it, and it's a decent hotel. It's cheap, and I can use that extra money. We're probably saving $50-$60 a night per person, driving in 10-15 miles, and it's like a 20-minute drive, then staying next to the hotel. And yeah, it's nice to walk across and not have to drive and not have to get in your car. But I've said this before, I like the drive, and even more so, I like saving $200-$300 and using that towards card purchases as opposed to convenient hotel stays. So that's, everybody's going to be different on that. Maybe you have family. Maybe I know some people do like the Airbnb. That's an option. The hotel, I don't know if there's even rooms available at the hotels next door to the convention center. But I like staying out, driving in. Like I said, we're in Wheeling, and it's like straight down River Road. It's an easy drive. It's like 20 minutes. I like the drive because I can get some coffee. I don't like carrying coffee around at the show, obviously. But I like to, get a couple breakfast burritos, drink a coffee on my drive in, crank the music, windows down, just kind of getting ready for my day. So Dan says the CTA parking lot is north of the convention center, about a 10-minute walk. That's great. Okay, so yeah, so if you're interested in cheaper parking than the parking garage, a little longer walk. And by the way, the walk from the actual parking garage is still kind of a long walk because you have to walk through the parking garage, across the skywalk, down through this maze. It's just follow the people basically. But yeah, it can be like the first time I went to the Donald Stevens Convention Center, my buddy was showing me the ropes. And I'm like, dude, there's no way I would have found my way through. But the Spectacular is a smaller show, so it wasn't like a stream of people. But at the National, just follow the herd. Just follow the herd, and you'll get to the right place. So the CTA parking lot, Dan says, is on River Road, east side of the street. Okay, awesome. So another thing I wanted to talk about was prices, and I was even chatting with a couple friends last night. And one of them had never been. He's considering going down for like Saturday. And he's like, but I heard the prices are really high. And that's actually a comment I've heard, fairly common comment I've heard from people, is that the prices are high. And I don't really agree with that to an extent. You can get some amazing deals. There's going to be some high prices on stuff. And especially now because, we're still kind of in this peak of the hobby. So I found some amazing deals. There's the Singles Club dollar boxes, which are freaking amazing. In fact, when I go in, I'm just making a beeline. If you say hi and I ignore you on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday as I'm making a beeline to the Singles Club, I apologize in advance because I'm making a beeline to the Singles Club. I'll say hi, but I'm gonna try to like focus and just go straight there, avoiding eye contact, and then you can meet me at the dollar boxes, and then we can chat. So that's my goal. There are amazing deals at the Singles Club dollar boxes. I was pulling, and I actually spent a limited amount there 2 years ago. And I was flipping dollar cards for 10, 15 bucks. I mentioned the dime boxes that I saw the last day, which I wish I would have saw them earlier. Who knows what was in those on Thursday as opposed to Sunday. But I was pulling out veins of Shohei Ohtani Gold Cup cards, which I sold recently for a couple bucks a pop, and I was pulling those out of dime boxes. And I think I had 30 of them. Pulling those out of dime boxes, and they gave me a discount on top of it because I bought like a 3-row box. And I was pulling Michael Kopech rookies, Kyle Tucker rookies, Ohtani Gold Cups, Ozzie Albies Gold Cups. There were some Acuñas in there in the dime box. So I was probably paying a nickel each after the discount. And those were just flying out of my eBay store for a couple bucks a pop. So if you hit the bargain boxes, you can find some amazing deals. I haven't in the past looked at, usually if there's a booth of just slabs and high end, if it's like vintage and pre-war, I will definitely stop and look just because I love those types of cards. But if it's like ultra modern Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, I'm just gonna walk away because I'm not. It's just not my thing. Heard something outside. I couldn't tell if it was a dog or a bird. But I will veer toward monster boxes in bulk, and if they're stacked on top of each other, even though I hate that, I'll look for the quantity. So there can be some just awesome deals. I'm trying to think of some of the other deals that I picked up, but so that's that. So comfortable shoes, snacks, a chair for sitting, parking. What else am I missing? If there's anything else that I didn't hit on, share it in the chat here, or leave a comment. But that's about the main tips I can offer. There are a lot of freebies from the not the actual vendors, but from like Topps. ComC, I think, was giving out like they would give you like a 550 count box. I think One Touch, whoever makes the One Touches, they were giving out like a free One Touch. I think maybe Ultra Pro was giving out sleeves. But there's a lot of like different PSA always does something. They did something that I missed out on 2 years ago, where they took your picture and they put it on a T206 or tobacco card, and then they slabbed it in a PSA slab. And I wish I could have added to the Cubs collection with my own tobacco card. And I hope they do that again this year because I missed out. So take advantage of the giveaways, because a lot of different booths have giveaways. Deodorant, yeah, please wear deodorant, because there's going to be more people than ever this year, and it's probably going to be warm and sticky and pretty smelly. So wear deodorant. Another thing, speaking of deodorant, when you're sitting, so one of my pet peeves is when you're looking through rows of a bargain box. Communicate with your stranger neighbor. My biggest pet peeve is when somebody just like, you're like in this row and you're sorting, and all of a sudden the dude next to you just like kind of like invades your space and reaches across and doesn't say a word. I don't mind if you reach across, but please say excuse me, or have you say something. Don't just crowd somebody's personal space and dive into a row that they may or may not be looking at. Have some manners. That you're gonna probably run across that depending on how long you're there, multiple times. Just have some manners. That is probably my number one pet peeve, more so than not wearing deodorant. And if hey, sometimes you get a two for the people not wearing deodorant invade your space and take out of your row and not say anything. So just communicate. In fact, I've met some awesome people. We're all just digging for cards, and we'll talk. What are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for this, and like, it's tough for me because I say I collect any and all Cubs, but when it comes to like putting money out, I don't want to spend $10 on a stack of Cubs that I already have. So when I'm digging through bargain boxes, I'm looking for like parallels, numbered cards, and stuff like that. I'm not looking for any and all Cubs if I'm like paying, unless it's like a penny box, which I don't think those exist. But so it's hard, but they'll be like, oh, I'm looking for, any and all. We'll say Mark Burley's for Dan, or Freddie Freeman for Herman. And then, and you'll like, he'll be like, and I'll try to say like, I'm looking for Cubs any Cubs parallel serial number. And they'll be like, oh, here's a Jorge Soler number to 99. Oh, yes, I want that. Thank you. Here's a Freddie Freeman Topps Chrome. Do you want this? Oh yeah, I'll take that. So that's cool. In fact, the dime box I was at on Sunday last year, the last day, talking to the guy next to me, we're kind of having conversation a little bit. All of a sudden, like a few minutes in, we realize we follow each other. We talk on Twitter all the time, TJ, and we talk on Twitter all the time. We've done multiple trades. He was an assistant softball coach on a team that I broadcasted in the state finals about 10 years ago. And so it just so happened that we were right there, not even knowing who each other was. So that can be the fun part of digging through those bargain boxes. Dan, and that's a good point Dan brings up. Dan says, some say walk the floor first before buying. That's a great point. Now, normally on regular card shows, I don't typically do that, but I'm a different type of buyer. Like I'm not, now this year there is, I've mentioned it, the Allen and Ginter, Cap Anson. Now there's the likelihood of there being multiples are pretty slim, but I bet I could find a few because they're not super rare, but they're obviously not common. But I do have like a specific grade in mind, and I have a specific price in mind. So if it doesn't meet those parameters, I'm not going to buy, but I hope to find something within my price range that has appeal. Now it's got to be low grade, but I've seen some like ones that look great, and I've seen some twos and threes that just look like garbage. So that's kind of one thing that I'm looking for. Now, what I plan on doing, by the way, there is a map of vendors. So if there's booths that you want to see, if you want to get the goodies before they're given out, like the main booths, usually the manufacturers, the Topps, those types, they're like right in the middle, and there's signage everywhere, so you can't miss. And that's usually where all the giveaways are from Topps, Ultra Pro, ComC, and they're like right there in the middle. But they do have maps. Go to nsccshow.com. They do have a map on the website of where the vendors are. So if there's a vendor that you want to see, say it's the Singles Club, they're at tables 489 and 574. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get that map printed out, and I'm going to circle the Singles Club because that's my first stop, and I'm going to make a beeline. And then after I spend probably a couple hours sifting through dollar cards, then I'm probably going to walk the floor. And, Jennings, the card shop in Freeport, even though the card shop itself is like an hour and a half away from me, I'm still going to spend a couple hours at their booth because they always have great stuff. So maps are available on the national website, which is nsccshow.com. So those are some of the tips that I have as a first timer. It's coming up on 7:15, so I'm going to have to run. If there's anything else, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Drop a comment here or hit me up on Twitter. We still have a couple weeks until the national, and I can't wait. So thanks for tuning in today. 1millioncubs.com is the website. I have it in written form, so it's a little more organized than my just rambling here. So I'll tweet that link out here this morning. My tips from the national that I wrote, a few days after the show 2 years ago. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Wednesday. I will likely again be back on tomorrow morning. I don't know if I'll have anything to talk about, but I'll just pop on and go live tomorrow. Dan says, make sure you meet Robert and look at his table of Japanese stuff. Oh, yeah, Prestige Collectibles. I do remember seeing his booth, but yeah, I'll stop in and say hi. Thanks, David. You too. So I will come on just probably, I don't know, tomorrow morning, same time, 6:45. depending on what I have to talk about. But I do plan on going live tomorrow morning. I plan on going live Friday morning before. I do have my Cubs tickets. My buddy's actually going to go to the game with me. I kept waiting. The Cubs losing streak is now at 11. And the ticket prices keep dropping. When I first decided to take the day off and go to the game a couple weeks ago, the lowest bleacher ticket was $95. A few days ago, it was $75. On Monday, it was down to like 70. Yesterday, it dropped to like 65. And I think that was for because I was looking for a single ticket because my friend wasn't going. When I texted him just to confirm, hey, I'm going to crash at your place Friday night, take the train into Crystal Lake. He's like, if you haven't bought a ticket, I'll go to the game with you, buy two. I'm like, okay. So I think the cheapest pair of tickets were like $67 each. And that's kind of where they're at. I imagine some more will come on the market today with that losing streak now at 11 games. And it's Cubs Cardinals, which is, even when the team and both of them suck, even when both suck, it brings out a lot of people, especially on a Friday afternoon in July. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow.